All I hear is talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. The she be down the ride, oh, I bet that. Ooh.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Yaya's me up in the chat. I got the illustrious JH here giving us an interview with our main man, Tshirts. What's going on, y'all?
The Chooch is here. The Chooch is here, and he's proud to be here. He's got Yaya with him. This is going to be a blast. Let me tell you, it's going to be insane. God forbid what we might say. Let's go.
Just so you know, I have to go to church this weekend for anybody. And if anybody doesn't know, this is JH, everything USPS with JH.
Bless you, my son.
Oh, man.
Bless
It's
you,
going
my
to be
son.
an interesting conversation with some carriers here. And I don't even want to play the fiddle. I just had a video the other day about your great president. And I know you all do union meetings because you all are very involved, but your president said he don't want your damn opinion. Yaya, what you think about that, man? Did you hear the video, the little clip about your president? He doesn't want your opinion. What do you feel about that, man?
Yeah, I saw. If the clip you're talking about is where somebody's mic got cut off, that was pretty.
No,
that was something.
no.
Push.
That was the other guy that got his mic cut off, Mike Cariff. But he had
No.
a podcast about a year ago, and he was saying that he wants to keep there's too many opinions tends to muddy the waters, so he doesn't want too many opinions getting involved in it. I don't know if you got a chance to watch my video. Thanks, dirtbag. Anyway, but yeah, he said you, Mr. you're the one that's supposed to take care of my damn videos. But seriously, that's what he said. He said he doesn't want your opinions because it muddies the waters, and damn near your opinions don't matter. That's in a nutshell.
I mean, it's always felt like that. It doesn't. I don't know. There's so much we can do, but until recently, with things that have been transpiring, it for the longest time it didn't matter. It really didn't matter. How many people lately are starting to get involved? I went to my union meeting last night, and there wasn't that many people there, but there was a lot more than there usually is. And it was old faces that I saw that I came up with. And it's funny because a lot of us that, we're not that young, I've been in 10 years, and we're finally after 10 years are starting to be like, okay, you know what? Wait a minute. Hold on. We got to get involved in this shit.
Yep.
We show up
to change the culture.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And we show up, and I mean, if you want me to get into it, yeah, I went to my meeting last night, and it wasn't sunshine and rainbows, let me tell you.
Look, wait. Before we get to that, we're gonna get to that in a second. I want an answer. You're saying it's always been, you always felt like that. I understand it's always felt like that, but when you hear it come out of his mouth, him saying, "Hey, I know I'm your leader, but I don't give a damn what your opinion is." How does it make you feel?
When you start though, like you don't think about that. You don't think about those higher ups. You're worried about more of a personal thing and a local thing with your supervisors and your managers that are always threatening to fire you. Because you're 3 months in, you're in the probationary period. You better hustle it. You got to deal with that. Then, okay, you get past that, but you don't deal with that upper brass stuff until you start like actually getting involved or, get more seniority. Aside from that, it's more local where you got to be scared. I mean, I was when I started. I was terrified. Terrified.
You still missing the point, big dog. You still missing the point. I'm your president. I'm going to negotiate your future. I'm going to negotiate your future, but I don't want to hear your opinion. And I'm the top dog. Forget your local presidents. Forget your local stewards. I'm the president. But listen, your opinion really doesn't matter. How does that make you feel? Regardless of you saying your local level, we're talking about the top dog that's negotiating on behalf of you, which can change your lifestyle. But I don't want your opinion.
I got an answer.
I want to hear him. He playing pitter patter. You don't pitter patter. Don't pitter patter.
No.
Okay.
No. Coming from me.
No, I'm talking to that guy. No, Matt. Chew.
Oh, you
One
okay?
second.
Okay, I'm just
I
going to
want
recline
that
myself.
guy right there. I want your explanation. I don't want no soft answers because
I'm just going to turn for a minute. Go ahead, Jerry. Do your thing, Jake.
What I'm getting at, though, that's what I'm getting at, is you got to think about it. When you're somebody like how we came up back in the day, it's you think that low. You think that low of it. And look what it took me. It took me 10 years to finally get to the point where I'm like, no, I want to be a part of this change. I want to be a part of it. But when you start, you don't care about that. You think this is a federal job. This is great. Everybody bitches about how, forgive me for cussing, but everybody bitches about how this job used to be so great and now it's not. And it sucks. It sucks that it's like that. And yeah, but you don't think about that when you're that young, when you're first starting out. You just want this job. When you got management threatening you that you're going to get fired, you're doing 4 hours of work in 9 hours. I've been there. And you guys hear me. You guys see me in the chat. 8 hours, 8 hours. You should have seen me when I first started. You don't think about that kind of stuff. And now it took me 10 years to finally be like, nah, you know what? I want to change this fucking culture.
All right.
How about you, Chooch?
Okay. So I have, about an 80% different version of coming up. Okay. So we're winding back to the 18 years from the beginning. Going into this place was coveted. Like I said, we talked about this in the first one, and we said, coming in at that point, waiting 16 months, 17 months to get even a response that I got the job. So I'm just, jumping from this place, no real money to be made. I'm thinking like, where am I going from here? I took that civil service exam like almost 2 years ago. I heard nothing. And then finally it shows up. I'm like 5 weeks into a new job. And, and I said to the lady, I just got an offer from the Postal Service. I got to put my 2 weeks in. And she's like, well, wait a minute, maybe I can match it for you. Maybe I can match what they're offering you. And I showed her the opening number for table 1 PTF. And she was like, I can't match that. I'm sorry. So from the beginning, the 90 days and how it was explained to me was to say that, don't call out, don't miss an express mail scan, just keep moving, but don't kill yourself. And it wasn't very as stressful as like what you're describing, to say like how they were like on you like wet on rice from the beginning of your thing. I didn't have like abusive postmasters or supervisors when I started 18 years ago. My big mess is happening now at this point because some of the people that were managers and postmasters carried mail a lot back then, and now you don't have anybody that ever touched a piece of mail on the street or barely in the office that are running things now, on the local side, on the, again, why what I'm going to talk about, only to a certain extent, just to vent a little bit on, is to say that now after all these years of cruise control, like literally I describe it as 16 years of cruise control, and now all of a sudden the wheel is wanting to be reinvented in the worst way possible by the worst kind of people. And
Agreed.
yeah, and so here I am to say that been to plenty of union meetings. Always kind of thought of them as like kind of just like drinking a couple beers and kicking back with the boys, and you go over the local reports and you do the 50-50 raffle, and you discuss a little bit of business. And last night at my meeting, the tentative was kind of just like, held up with a piece of paper and said, everybody's kind of seen this already, right? Everybody. And I'm like, yeah. And so it was just like, okay, so you all know what's in it. You'll get your ballot and you'll get this, and then you'll decide. And all we have to say is, if you think it's a good deal, go for it. Or if you don't like it, you don't like it. And, there wasn't really much like scrutiny put on that. And then it turned into, discussing what was going on from each of our offices in each branch. And got to yours truly, where I got to get into heavy about what's going on in my current predicament. And, I had a statement a long statement, but it was more or less bullet points that I trimmed it down to say I wasn't going to take forever reading like this long thing that I wrote that I put a lot of time into. So when all said and done, I got people's attention last night. I got people that came up to me and said, I'd like to have the full copy of that and be able to like, cause it was very well written. And I could see you were very serious about what you were saying. And some of the things that we heard were just like, oh my God, like this is what you're hearing and this is what you're being treated like on a daily basis. And I'm like, yeah, because like I said, nothing like this was ever happening in my station for 15, 16 years. And then now, we're like, wow, we're like, we want blood. Maybe I'm going a little over the top. I just want a fair and equitable treatment. Here's the thing. I have been doing hours out the ass for the last 5-6 years. Pre-COVID, my office always short-staffed, always logging 6-day work weeks, always 55, right around 55 to 60 hours. If you're gonna make me do that against my will, where I'm not signing on for it, kind of like how Nick, just give me those hours, give me those hours. I did that all for my first decade of work, and then I kind of said I got to roll it back a little bit. I don't need to be here all this time, and we were doing good. Whereas say like if you were non-ODL, you got your drop, And then Amazon swooped in with Sundays, and now it's like, oh well, now we need you guys maybe to do something. I'm like, what the fuck, So basically, I say to them, what I'm dealing with now is if you're going to make me work those hours against my will, you're not going to shit on me at the same time. You're not going to be violating, the rights to decency, the rights to respect and dignity. This is in the contract. This is in the book. Respect and dignity guidelines of how you address your people, about how you. That was my whole diatribe I went into and what I read and what I got people's attention on to say, like, they're not hearing what I'm hearing every day when I go to work. They're not experiencing 60-hour work weeks. They got a ton of PTFs. They got a ton of people, and they're barely getting 40. And I'm just like a hair down the road from them. And somehow my station, and you just say, well, is it just the way, things crumble sometimes? Is that the way the cookie crumbles? And it's like, no, it's orchestrated. And I believe it's orchestrated. So that's where things were good, as opposed to you sounding like, Russ, in your, 10 years, it's always like boom, boom. And like, that's it influenced you to feel like that they're always going to get you. I'm at the point now where I'm like, you can't do anything to me. All you can do, there's nothing you can do to me. I said, I'm going to go over on my route if it's overburdened, which it is, and I'm not going to let you intimidate me to move faster, skip my lunches, skip my breaks. What I'm dealing with is a lot of people that are doing that exact thing. And it's not registering, like to say that maybe in the beginning, you have to feel like you have to be faster, but once you hit that 90 and you're in and you make regular, there's not much they can do to you. There really isn't. And I've seen enough and known enough to say that you have to do a hell of a lot of bad shit to, just get a little one of those, let alone canned. Nobody gets canned. So that's my take in comparison to what Russ said. Good in the beginning, cruise control, to very ugly recently. Go ahead.
Wow. That was a handful. All right. So I'm gonna go back on a couple things that both of you said. First off, my main question was, did Joy negotiated money for both of you? He said, I don't want your opinion. That was the question I asked. I went way off bat, but that's okay. I wanted to know what your opinion was on that. You were saying you're both accustomed to being shitted on. Not so much you, Chooch, but it shouldn't be like that. Number one.
You want to know about Renfroe? You want to, if it's yeah. I wanted to answer your question. Absolutely, answer your question about Renfroe. Renfroe to sit there and say what he said about, I don't care about your opinion. Fuck you. How's that?
All right, I like that. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you're a single negotiator of me and 299,000 other carriers, and you're going to sit there and say we don't want the waters muddied with too many opinions. You know, you're the biggest jackass in the world for putting that out on a podcast and just basically saying like, you know, well, no one's really as smart as I am because I negotiated this contract all on my own, so I think it's a pretty darn good contract, and we're all and like you know, I'm wearing this shirt right now that people sent to me, that a certain gentleman sent to me, and you know, we're kind of all have our minds made up at this point, and he's going on this, you know, festival around the country now of podcasts and softball questions thrown his way, and it's just like, and then you got Mike Karef interrupting him at the rap session, and you just see like, you know, we're unplug that mic right now, and I'm like, get him, get him, get him. So yeah, you say that you don't care about what we have to say, then you're a scumbag. You're a scumbag. There you go.
Nicely put.
There you go.
Nicely
Glad I
put.
could answer the question properly.
What about you, Yaya?
I
Come on.
I mean, I think about it and I'm like, well, I didn't have a part of it because I didn't vote. I didn't for the longest time. Like I've said, this is one of the first years I've really tried to get involved in stuff. But this is the dude we voted in. These are the people we voted in. And now it's time to do something about it.
I didn't vote for him.
Okay, so here's the thing. Whatever president may be in office, we don't vote specific. Not everybody votes for that specific president. Somebody does. If I don't even know what the guy in the White House right now. If I didn't vote for him, I still have an opinion about him. Don't sugarcoat it, bro. I want to know what your opinion is about what he said. If you don't want to give an opinion, that's cool. Just say, I want to hold back my opinion.
All right, no, I think it's fucking bullshit.
Thank you.
It sucks.
Shit.
It sucks.
Gotta sit there and
Success.
pull some goddamn teeth here.
All right, fellas, calm down, leave me alone. No, it's
a podcast here, man.
Hey, you guys saw me at work. I was fucking getting rained on all day long. My great postal shoes that I was wearing that I've, you know, shown you guys. They were
I saw those.
Yeah,
I saw those pants.
Yeah, and yeah, you saw the pants with the hole that the satchel makes.
Yep.
Walking through it. I was okay. I was warm, but there were certain spots that were cold, and it sucks. When I think about all these other fucking raises everybody's getting with their union jobs, and I see what we got, I'm like, what?
So that's what Renfroe thinks of us. Yep. Yeah,
federal. We're federal employees, and I'm still coming out of the change jar at the end of the pay period just to buy a pack of smokes or something. Like, dude, really?
Man.
So
that pisses me off.
So something both of you said earlier. Chooch, you said that for the first 10 years, you were a runner, you wanted all the hours. I don't know if they call it runners or whatever. You wanted a bunch of hours. And
signing up for the ODL and saying, you know, give me those hours. And, you know, but, you know, knowing the system of saying you're still going to respect the taking the lunch and the breaks and not just, you know, doing as much as you can and racking up as much as you can. Like you want to, you know, and this is when, you know, I was doing that other job I told you about that I had disc jockeying, where I would be leaving one county where I worked, driving to another county to do a gig, and then coming home to my county where I live, just, you know. And so on certain days with the gig, I'd say like, okay, I got to high step it just a little bit because I want to get to the gig, you know. But other than that, you know, and that unfortunately, you know, is where they use this little tool that's called like past performance. So past performance is to say that, well, we saw you on this particular day do this, and now suddenly you can't do it. And the union is great where they come in and say, well, that was then, and this is now. Chooch might have done this 6 months ago, but Chooch is not that. Chooch might not be that same person. Might not have that same, you know, whatever it is. I know that at whatever given point where they say past performances, like you did this on this particular day with this, and I said, can you pull up the numbers to show me what the mail was that day compared to what you're telling me that I need to do the same thing in this day? And I'm like, it's quadrupled from what it was on that day that I did it. So they like to create this illusion that no matter how much you have, you should be able to do it in the same time. That's the management scheme that they try to get carriers on all the time. And it's like, I know how much mail I have. I know how long my route takes. I've been doing it for 14 years. You can follow me. You can monitor me. You can have that scanner and a probe up my ass all day. And guess what? You're going to see me do exactly right on those estimates that they show us the following day to say, this was your projected time and here was your actual time, right on the money. And it's funny sometimes where you say to yourself, like, damn, like I was like that close to the projection, or I was just this much over or just this much under, most of the time over. And then unfortunately that it shows everybody on the same sheet and you're looking at it like, oh my God, like why is everybody's times so minus the projections?
All right,
That's
so
bad.
let me jump in.
Yep.
So I hear what you're saying, and I got some criticism for both of you. Just because I'm not a carrier, and you can tell me shut the fuck up if you want to. But
Go ahead.
criticism. Here's criticism. And I'm learning a lot of these things as you both speak about it. So, my sister, my son, and my daughter, each of them have different work ethics. And I knew that I had to cheer my daughter on because she was falling behind. She was struggling. She called me crying. I think if you know me from back in the day, I tell you, and even her when she was on my channel, she was crying because she couldn't keep up. She didn't have the proper training. And then there's my oldest son, which has a super work ethic. He reminds me of Yaya, and he ran like a goddamn fucking wild man. And then there's my sister that was right in the middle, where she has a steady workflow, just a little bit underneath me. Now, here was the thing. All three of them weren't trained the proper way. And it bothered me because that's daddy's little girl. And I was like, well, who trained you? And, was the person, certified to train you? And she's like, no, they just put me with a couple different people. So I said, well, here's the thing. If they sit somebody with, now I looked at it from my inner circle. I said, if they sent you with your own brother and he's trying to train you, the wild man, he's trying to train you, he's doing things faster. He had my grandbaby and he had to get out of work. So he would fucking fly through and just, and that's not teaching the proper way. Cause like you were just saying, the times, the estimated times, the under times, the overtimes. Yeah. And so now my daughter she was struggling. They're saying, well, okay, Izzy, which is my son's name. Well, you got to keep up with Izzy. Izzy said that you're not keeping up. Well, Izzy's a goddamn wild man. He's not following the actual estimated time that they have for it. So now my daughter's sitting there and she's crying every day. Dad, I went over. I said, I don't think you really went over. And then you have my sister, which runs at a steady pace, and they're saying, well, you could pick up her pace. And I tell, don't you stay at exactly the fucking pace that's set on there. And then my son, he's a yaya. He's fucking finishing. They give him an extra piece. He's still finishing. And I'm like, dude, you don't make no fucking overtime. How is it you don't make no overtime? You fucking idiot. You need money. You're driving 40 miles, because this is the distance. He's driving from where we're located 40 miles away to go pick your daughter up. He's like, I got to get out of here, Dad. I got to get out of here. We got to beat the traffic. I got to pick the baby up before, certain time. And I'm like, but you can't train somebody because you're a fucking Superman. It's great, but they're going to keep jamming more work down your throat, and you're not helping the operation as a whole. You're actually fucking up the time for the whole office. And then you got the ones that I don't even call them the milkmaids.
No, the milkers.
There are some that,
not this guy. We do that. We do this when we walk by them. We know. Yeah.
They have some that actually have easier routes, but they're going to take that full 8 hours. They got 4 hours of work, and they gonna work that 8 hours. What they call them, retirement routes.
Yeah, cupcake routes, according to a guy named Mailman Nick.
Oh,
I love
shit.
that.
Yeah, cupcake routes.
Cupcake
But
routes.
they all have to make sense because the hours have to make sense because the times have to make sense. Because if not, the people that follow you, the new people that come in, they'll never be able to keep up with my Izzy. They'll never be able to keep up with a Yaya. And I'm not really sure how your flow is, Chooch.
I'll tell you my
But,
flow if you want to hear about it. I won't.
you know,
But-
it's just, here's the thing. Yaya's a runner. I'm not sure if you're a runner, but
Nope.
all of you have to come on the same page. Because if you're not on the same page, if you have an office that's completely on the same page, look, this is the allotted amount of time. Every person that walks in that door, the new people, I don't care what they got going on in life, but we're going to make sure that we teach them. Don't go too slow. Don't go too fast. If you got this route, you take this amount of time. Because then the expectations of your supervisors are gonna be like, well, shit, even the best guys finish it in 8 hours. You're not setting unrealistic expectations.
Yep.
And that's where all these people, the high turnover rate. And I know there's a high turnover rate because of what I do. I'm watching people go into an office, and you guys work in the offices, and they quit. Within a week, I had a guy come from New York, 7-year carrier, 7 years. And I always do my DDC class, and I'm like, oh, where's everybody from? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, New York. Oh, what station you going to? And I've delivered to all the stations. And he told me what station. I'm like, oh. He said, what's that mean, man? I said, well, you from New York. You got thick skin. You'll be good. That was the last day I saw the man. He went to the station, and I promise you, he went for his shadow day. He didn't come back. 7-year carrier from New York.
Damn.
Going to this little soft ass stations here. And the management has such unrealistic expectations because you had people, they don't care. They're going to rush, or they're going to do the slow, the milkmaids. But there was never a happy medium amongst all the carriers,
Yeah.
which is very difficult when you got 30,
Yep.
40 carriers. In
You
order
got
to make
people
the
like
new
our man
people,
Nick.
I'm sorry?
You got people like our man Nick that wants overtime.
Well,
You got your Chooch that's like, all right, cool. I'm about to go on, I'm about to go do my thing. Maybe I could use a few hours. Myself, okay. And then you got the runners that just want to get the hell out of there. And then you got that, I don't know. That's the problem is the milkers. That's the one thing. There's days where it could be a half trade day, guys. Like all my routes at my station are walking. They all are. We have to take that into consideration. But if you don't have to touch every single address,
Every single box. Yeah.
2 hours of help.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing. My son would have a holiday, and I know how much mail I delivered the day after a holiday. That fucker would not go in overtime. No.
Oh, whoa.
No, what are you doing, dude? How you finish in 7 hours? What are
Nope.
you fucking doing?
Always overtime on a holiday. After the holiday. Always.
You cannot finish your route early because the new people come in. When they do their shadow days, they do Amazon Sundays, and they also do the holidays.
The Columbus
Those are
days,
the
the Martin
days.
MLK Day, yeah.
Right, that's the days that they have to
I
deliver
work
the parcels.
Columbus Day. I was forced to work Columbus Day. That was a doozy.
They cannot do that. And amongst the carriers, it'll never come to fruition, but that's the problem. So my sister used to go and she take over somebody else's route, and they were like, well, yeah, such and such will do it in this time. And she would always call me, and I'm like, yo, as long as you make it 8 or more,
Mm-hmm.
don't matter what they say. You're a career person.
Yep.
Do not sit there and come, oh, well, they want me to go back for no. They saying that the other person used to do it and blah, blah, blah. You've done all these other routes. It's a new route for you. You got to go up and down stairs. You got to go in buildings. And she sound frustrated. And I'm like, yo, I know your work ethic, but a lot of it has to do, everybody's an individual.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
But even though we're individuals, we have to be on a unified front when it comes down to the work. Because if you don't, they're just going to abuse you. They're going to abuse the next one. If you give me a route, me as a truck driver, and I got 3 pickups and 2 drop-offs in between them, and my route is 8 hours, if you ask me to stop somewhere else, it's gonna cost. I cannot physically do it. Well, what do you mean? It's just on the way. Yeah, it's on the way, but I gotta go and I gotta pull into the place.
Stop.
I gotta back up. I gotta watch out for everything. I gotta open those doors. I gotta load my truck. I gotta.
It's time.
Time. Time is money. You cannot give me more work and have me complete it in the same amount of time, because if you do that enough, you eliminate other people's work.
Yep.
And the moment you eliminate other people, well, if he can do it, then everybody can do it. No. It's gonna take me at least 15 minutes, man. But it's on the way up. Hey, then have somebody else do it. You come there and you go do it. You can do it, and I'm gonna file a grievance, or you're gonna pay me my little 15 minutes.
This is where I live now. I live in that zone now to say that for the route I've been on for 14 years, and this is what is unique about my route and my station, is that it has grown. Growth. We call it growth. They said they build new houses. They build new. All the deliveries are actually cluster box units, but there are 450 new stops. Okay. So the route before these things were built was probably one of the shortest routes in the office when I took it over. And then the builders came in and said, we're going to take this not so great part of this town here, and we're going to make it beautiful with beautiful new townhomes and a beautiful new apartment complex, luxury apartments. And this has all transpired over the last 6-7 years, where it started off with, okay, here's Tshirts, you got 60 new townhomes over here. That's all built. 60 stops, not bad. Tshirts, another 120 coming in over here. Damn. Okay. Now we're getting a little heavy. Tshirts, 220 new luxury apartments coming in here, but it's all cluster boxes. And they'll say, like, oh, just like Jay says, you're going to have to stand in front of something different that they're trying to add on to you. You're going to say, well, that's time, and of course you're supposed to have inspections, full route inspections. Yes. My office hasn't been inspected in over 11 years. I've had that growth over the last 6-7 years, and I have not once had any kind of inspection done, no full route inspection. So everything is basically just stayed as is. But because of the reduction of volume in mail, to counter the new stops that have been added in, to say, like, that route got no mail whatsoever for all this time, and now I get hit with some good mail. So now I basically am over 90% of the week. I mean, 5 out of a 6-day work week, I put in my $39.96 to say I'm going to be 45 over today. I'm going to be an hour and a half over today, and pretty much gets approved without any kind of like fight whatsoever from management. But in more recent times, some people getting mad. They're getting mad about how much hours are having to be paid out from their budget. And so suddenly what was okay for the longest time now becomes, you're going to get that route done in 8 hours with all that mail. And I'm like, is that so? Like, and how did you come up with this amazing theory that suddenly, after you not protesting me for all this time with less mail, that now with we're getting all this extra mail during this little fun season we just had, where it's finally over. And I'm like, no, still going to fill out the form. And, you get like the floor, right at you in your face, like, and I'm like, like denied overtime. And I'm like, okay, you know what that means to the carrier? Absolutely nothing. You don't have to. You go out and you do the route, you deliver the mail, however long it takes. And when you come back the next day, guess what? There's nobody there waiting for me to say, you did this and I told you to do that. Because that's how the carrier system works, to say that.
And the street sucks. That is that's such a slap in your face, because your leaders, your supervisors are supposed to be there when you need them. Because you say, hey, look, I'm going to have an extra 45 minutes. No, denied. Man, that make you feel bad. You out there grinding all day. Y'all are doing something totally different than what I'm doing. In the snow and all kind of fuckery weather, and y'all with the crackheads around the corner, he delivering in bad neighborhoods and shit. Yeah, you know, and you're delivering in the elements, and they're gonna tell you, yeah, no. Like, well, hold on, man. You supposed to be on my side. You supposed to be the leader. You worrying about $1? You worrying about some money? Our job is to provide a what? Goddamn service. Pay me. Pay me. I'm not fucking around. Check this out. Get in the vehicle. Oh, it's too hot for you? Then don't say nothing to me. That domino effect of that for the years. And again, I don't want you to feel one way, but it's just like he's saying, if there's some people that, you know, they work at their steady pace, and then here goes, you giving me extra work. Oh yeah, it's good. You got to pay me for the extra work. This shit I don't magically move faster because you gave me extra work, because that's gonna set a new standard for the people that come after me. You can't set a new standard. I understand the letter mail may not be there as much. Parcels are difficult because letter mail go in a mailbox. That parcel, you got to walk up some steps. You got to walk to the door. You got to put your vehicle in park, pull that brake, curb your wheels, fucking lock your door, walk to the door, scan your shit. That takes more time than
those steps are being skipped, Jay. People are skipping all those steps. I don't want to say, I'm kind of like covering my mouth while I'm saying, and you're going through all the motions of what you're teaching those people to do in the driver training academy.
Oh, you guys do it too, right?
I was gonna say the same thing, Matt. I was gonna say, hold on.
No. You see, you know, with the LLV that's 35 years old, you don't want to be on one of them YouTube videos where that thing's rolling down. You see the knucklehead chasing after it, and shit, you know.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, like that. I'm like, oh my god! Like, what did you do to put yourself in that position? Obviously, you didn't curb it, or you didn't. Most of the time, it's not shutting it off.
They don't shut it off.
Most of the time, it's not shutting it off. My butt leaves the seat 250 times a day on average on my route. I dismount 200 plus times a day on my route. Off every time. Never for even a split second of getting my ass out of that seat does that key not come back and that thing go off. And then
I know people. Sorry.
Jump in.
Is they'll put their arrow key with their car key, so they can't prove that. You know what? The car's off. It wasn't on. Because if the car key isn't with me, it's not. It's not in the vehicle. It's a part of the arrow key. I know you might jump.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I know people that. I heard it might be a safety thing, but I know people that do that. They're like, nope, I'm not losing this car key. It's going on my arrow key.
There's some people that got the yo-yo. You know, the yo-yo that you put to your hip. But regardless of though, the steps. Here's another thing. On the safety aspect of it, you guys are doing your routes in 8 hours. I get it. Do you walk out to your vehicle in the morning to check to see safety? Hardly. My guy, he walk out there. You seen these little pictures of the tires being ripped apart and all the damage?
It's unbelievable.
And the shit that I got to teach these people every day, it seemed like it's far few in between. This morning, today, I got a video because the guy, he skipped his steps, but there was a truck driver. He lost 2 toes.
Oh.
2 toes.
Oh.
The lift gate. You know, the lift gate on the back of
Oh, man. Oh, don't tell me you got the toes on the lift
right
gate.
off. And this morning, I'm like, damn, but it's always the rush. It's always the rush, the feel to be rushed. And then when you screw up, you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong because you screw up. You walk out, the first thing you're supposed to do in the morning is walk around that raggedy ass vehicle to make sure at least your mirrors are attached.
You got something going on there. Yep.
Right. You got to start the bitch and make sure that your heat work or you freeze.
People turn it on for 5 seconds and then go back inside the building. They don't, they don't check the flashers. You're supposed to check your flashers. You're supposed to check your tires.
Right.
You're supposed to check your wipers. You're supposed to honk your horn. You're supposed to
The
flip your
seatbelt.
lights on and off. You're supposed
Make
to
sure
have
that-
somebody stand. Yeah, seatbelt. Yeah, you're supposed to make somebody stands behind you to make sure that to tell you that your flashers are on, tell
Right.
you that brake lights are on. The rurals are very good at following that protocol.
How
City,
long? How long does it take for an average person to do that?
yeah, you want a 5-minute vehicle check.
What do
You're
you do?
given
Yeah.
given a 5-minute vehicle check.
At least 5 minutes.
At least 5 minutes. Y'all don't
Yeah,
sound like
'cause I
you
don't
really
drive
do
an
it.
LLB, so I got to make sure. I got to drive a Caravan, so I got to make sure my back gate opens. I got to make sure my side gate's open. I got to check my mirrors, and my U-Man is like 300 pounds bigger than me. I always
Okay.
gotta,
You got a
yeah, I
300
gotta
pound.
make
Yeah.
sure.
He knocks out that 15-mile route when you're not there.
Yeah, but
That's
you got to take those things into consideration every single time you get in that vehicle, because your life is worth
sorry.
more than a piece of
Now
mail.
that happened to me. This happened to me. Please, I'm sorry. Forgive me, Jay. I don't mean to interrupt.
Come on,
I was
talk.
coming back.
Say,
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was coming back one day, and this sounds stupid. Anybody that's watching or listening, check your lug nuts, especially if you just got your tire fixed.
because they won't
I
take
was
it.
coming back to the station one day, and I felt a boom, 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 and all of a sudden, boom, my whole tire fell off.
That's
And
bad.
I did a report. And then when I got back to the station after they picked me up, one of the other carriers is like, "Yeah, I noticed there was a lug nut in the parking lot." I was like, "Somebody lost one," and I had just gotten my tire changed.
That's happened one time in 18 years where a fellow long since retired carrier was driving down a busy road where where the cars get up to 40 and 45 and you just got to be peeled off kind of off to the side while they're flying around you, and his freaking front wheel just separated from the truck and the axle, and thankfully he just kind of just like did a and just like froze and and he was just like you call it was this pre-cell. This was right around the beginning of cell phones when that happened, and thankfully he calls in and he's like, so the best way to explain this is I have 3 wheels on my truck right now. The 4th one is gone. And I said, did you actually say it? He's like, I just felt myself go from level to unlevel. And I was just like, "You're okay." I said, "You're okay," and he's like, "I'm fine." He's like, "But man, I could be dead right now if I was like, if people were coming down this particular thoroughfare. I mean, I would have got destroyed had I not like been off to the side, or if it happened while I was, if I was at full speed on that road where you got to be at like 45 to maintain until you roll into a new box." Yeah. And the LLVs can barely get up to 45. I mean, you go up a hill, you got to like use your own body momentum to force an LLV uphill, because you can have your foot down to the floor. You can have it, and you just,
You got some raggedy LLVs over there.
Yeah, I see yours down there. The paint jobs look good, but they took house paint and they put it over all the messy spots, and now it looks like someone took house paint and rolled it over the old paint job, and they look worse.
That's exactly what they did.
They paid $250 per truck to like the mechanic that works on the trucks to say, "Hey, try and pretty up these trucks with some of that white house paint." And like every day you look at the truck, you're like, "Oh my God!" Like someone got a couple $1,000s to roll white house paint onto an LLV, and it looks. And next subject. I can go on forever about these damn trucks.
So, as carriers, I'm gonna just shoot some quick questions. I don't want long answers because we got a few minutes. I'm gonna go in here. What is your worst situation, Yaya? Whenever you go to work, what is the one thing that when you walk in, you like, fuck, I have to deal with what that bothers you the most? What is it? Just fill in the blank.
Casing.
That's on a consistent basis. You got a case every day?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Huge. I'm sure you case every day. I've seen what you had. Shit.
So yeah.
That's the worst thing you deal with is casing?
Yeah. Now, case. Honestly, when I first started, all right, I'm gonna throw it out there. I was terrified for like the first year as a CCA, but I was a runner, like I explained, so they wanted me out there. They wanted me out there getting everybody back. I hate a casing. I think when you first walk in that room and you see all those cells and you realize all those addresses,
Intimidating.
shit.
I'll admit to that. It's intimidating.
Shit. Like, and then you see everything. Our coffins are full and you got tubs and all that, and you see everybody doing this. You're like, what? And then and the way, like, the whole system, like, it took me so long to understand. Like, you know what I mean, Chooch? How they have the numbers, the colors, the symbols, and all the stickers.
Yep.
You know, anybody who's starting, everybody who's here knows what I mean. It means that it took me a year to figure that out. Once I got it, it was like, all right, cool, and do it. But in the beginning, that's terrifying, and I hate it because it like, you know, I'm 8 hours. I know y'all are getting mad at me about that, but I know depending on how long I have to case, and then when I can either, like, I got to kind of hurry up for the first hour, or I can just chill and then I get to a certain point. But like the casing, because that's office time. I don't know. I don't like office time. I just want to get in and out of there. I just want to get in, get out. Let's get out there, breathe the fresh air, get the mail delivered, talk to people, pet the friendly dogs, bitch the fucking dogs that want your blood, all that.
You suck, yeah. You one of them that don't train nobody. You don't train nobody. You gonna ruin it for all the new people trying to keep up with your ass. You gonna screw it up. Don't train nobody.
Man.
What you better not be like that, Chooch.
No, well, come on. I said I love.
Think about this. Think about this. If my son ever had to go to the post office and work underneath you, Yaya, I'd be so fucking pissed. What do you mean? Hey, every day, bro? 8 hours every day? What the fucking Yaya you dealing with? Tell me about you, Chooch. What's your worst thing that you got to deal with? What, when you walk into the office or you pull up to the building?
Got a beautiful answer for you. I have no idea what I'm walking into every day because you have an understaffed office. You have, you could get blasted on a Monday, get jack shit volume on a Tuesday, back to a little bit of volume on a Wednesday. Thursday is marriage mail day most of the time, your third bundle, your red plums, whatever you call them. There's all kinds of great names for it. That's your heavy day. That's what I'm going out with tomorrow. That's usually Thursdays, but I'm taking it out tomorrow. And then Saturday has now become the new second Monday, I call it, because we get, now they're intentionally nailing us with as much as they can hit us with on a Saturday because they know people will go faster on a Saturday. Everybody wants to get out of there. So I'm always the last dickhead walking out of that building because I said I will not give time back just because I want to go and and have a Saturday night. I said I will never give any time back to say that I just wanted to get out of here faster. I just want to do that because I know now what the repercussions are, and that's why I know that despite having this large route that I have, I know that my time is coming for it to be cut. I know that I could put in what Nick was talking about, where he can put in for a special inspection, and that all you have to do is show 6 weeks straight of at least 2 days of the week where you're over by 30 minutes. I could have put that in anytime I wanted to, but I have a loyalty to my route. I am that attached to my route and how wonderful it is. I love my fucking route. I love the fact that I jump out of that truck 200 times a day. I've been doing, and I loved it. And I love the fact that it grew and it wasn't as short as it used to be because I said, now they know my day is occupied. They don't have to worry about saying after you're done, after you're done your route, you're going to go do 2 hours another. I never get street extra. I never get street extra. I case in the office. I prep other routes. I'm the master. I'm the master of the case because I know every one of them like the back of my head. There's, I feed it in even before I even barely look at it. And you can put me at anyone in the station. And I know, and management knows that. So that's where they utilize me. Management has to utilize their horses in the best positions to say, okay, he's going to go out and do this big ass route. But we got to have somebody who can case and split up the route for all these other people that are going to be doing 2-3 hour pieces, splitting up these open routes that we don't have covered. So, of course, I'm sitting there saying, go ahead, put me as, sometimes I'm in the office 5 hours casing. Like with when we get the heavy volume, I could be in there from 8 a.m. start time till 1 p.m. And then
so wait.
Yeah,
my question was, what sucked? And you over here telling me about how much you love your route. You suck too.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing, is it? You want to hear, like, everybody wants me, Chooch to sound like, he sounds like he's very pressed, and he sounds like he's going through a bad situation. But I love the fact that I know that management might have a problem with me the most, because I have such a good way about myself when it comes to delivering, when it comes to the pride that I take in the job, the fact that I'm not a miserable, as we call it in the Italian way, miserable. Look at everybody's miserable. And I said, I come in and I'm like, what's going on, everybody? We're gonna have a good day. Everything's good. You saw you see my lunch video today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I happy because I'm on the street. I'm away from that office, so I do my time in that office, and then I go out to the street. And once I'm out there, I'm having the time of my life, regardless of any weather, snow. I love going out there and doing that job every day. What I hate is seeing those faces inside that office. That's what I hate the most.
Thank you. Jesus.
Yeah.
We got 10 minutes. We got
maybe I was hesitant to say it, but see, since you're so fucking good at getting it out of me, now I said it. There you go.
All right. Being that you asked me the same question, when I first got to my post office, just exactly what you said. I could not stand how miserable the peers were before me.
Mm-hmm.
So these truck drivers that have been there a lot longer than me, they're at the $50 an hour mark.
Mm-hmm.
They're making good money.
Oh yeah.
These fuckers were miserable, and I worked the early morning shift, and initially that was the shift when I first got there. It bothered me. I was like, these fuckers do nothing.
Yep.
And some of them watch me, but them fuckers do nothing.
Hey guys.
For like, bro, we got an 8-hour route. They're physically working. Maybe 3 hours. Wow. Physical work. Yep. The majority of it is just, the rest of it is driving. That's your training.
To and from.
But bro, these fuckers were miserable. They'd walk around. And I got there, I was like, hey man, you want me to help you load your truck? Don't touch my shit.
Don't touch my stuff, you.
Who are you talking to?
Get off my lawn. Man.
Yeah, and I couldn't understand it. A lot of them fuckers are gone. But the culture of misery is not just in my post office.
Now you got my attention.
Nationwide. Everybody got this. There's always a few in their office, and they're just fucking miserable. And I gotta have this happy-go-lucky attitude from where I've been to where I'm at. You know what I mean? We all have life, okay? Life for all of us. And I appreciate where I'm at, even though supervisors be fucked up, managers be fucked up, co-workers be fucked up. I appreciate when I get to that building, the shit is still there, number one.
Yep, same here.
And that I continually know that I have a check. I got a TSP. I can retire eventually. But I look at my peers that financially are doing so much better than I am, do so much less work, and their mentality to the next person. Hey man, why you here, man? I'm good, I'm trying to work. You should run now. I hope none of y'all say that. What do you mean run now? You should turn back around. This shit sucks. And then the first thing I asked them is, well, why are you here? Mm-hmm. Why are you still here? How long you been here?
I'm grandfather, dude.
28 years? Why are you still here? Man, shut the fuck up, bro. You got 3 different cars. You live out in such and such. You got a beautiful blah, blah, blah. And you come here, and the first thing they say, management. Bitch, you're a truck driver. You barely deal with management. Man, you'll understand one day. I understand. We all got to now the truck drivers interact with management probably the least. And we probably stay away from them the longest. We interact very little. But the misery, I go to stations and I see it amongst carriers. Every station I go to, hey man, how you doing? All right, y'all got your mail, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you good? Hey man, how you doing? I'm just waiting on y'all to get back so I can load my truck. And then there's always a couple that stroll in that won't say shit. And the first thing that I say, how you doing? They look at me and don't say shit. I say, well, fuck you too. And that's my automatic response. Fuck you too. And anybody that knows me will hear me say that. I'll be sitting there talking, hey, how you doing? Oh man, don't talk to them. Well, fuck you too. You heard me say hello. Shit,
God, I want to work with you. I want to work with you so bad, man. I want to work with you so bad. We have such a good time. We have such a fucking good time.
And it's not being a dick. It's not being an asshole.
They're being the dick.
A common courtesy just to say hi. Your attitude can bring down the culture. You got 10 great people, one person fucks it up, now you're at a 90%. You understand? It fucks up the percentage.
Sure.
And all it takes is one, and there's always multiple. I don't get it.
It feeds into
it festers.
People who are feeling good start feeling that same way because that person and let me tell you something, guilty is charged, because as I loved my old school guys, there was some of them that were always no. I'm like, you're at the top pay rate, you got all these years in, you got your TSP fed, but I'm just like, what's the problem? I said, we're in a beautiful town here. This is a great place to be a carrier. Like, why so serious?
Why so serious?
And like, my thing is just, again, I love going and serving my people. They take good care of me. They take good care of me all year long. And Merry Christmas when we get there, baby. It's always a beautiful, beautiful Christmas thanks to my customers. And I don't take that with like, say like, yeah, baby, let's show me, they know that I'm out there busting my hump to make sure that they're getting everything. And they trust me to say, well, I don't like this. Like my business customers, they say, I send my packages here because I don't like sending them to my house with my carrier is very like erratic sometimes. And they say, so we send them here because we know you and we trust that you'll get it here to us. And the workplace is sometimes, but it's the residential customers too. It's just, some people for 14 years, maybe I've seen them once or twice, but 90% of my people know my face, know my last name, know that I DJ, know that I have 2 kids, know that like so much about me. And, obviously I know a few things about them just by handling their mail, and it's just this bond and this rapport that makes me a better person and makes me a better carrier to say that if I was like, maybe like, from where I'm originally from, working in some rougher neighborhoods where I grew up, I don't know what it would be like. I remember my mailman coming around my own neighborhood, and he was like he was in the tie, and he was like, I was just like, he looked like so official. Now we're just running around in busted polos, and it's not like there's no ties anymore.
Right.
But I told true to what I saw him do every day. He diligently came in that little Jeep, and he diligently went up and down the block, in the heart of South Philly with that push cart. He did my, bunch of row houses, climbed each step, fed the mail into the box. And I just said, man, I said, I don't know if I'm going to where I'm going to end up one day. And I thought to myself, maybe I'll be a mailman one day. Who knows? And I always thought they'd say like, I'd be in the restaurant business or something. I did that. But here I am, 18 years in. I'm as thankful as you are, Jay, is how you described to say that despite all the BS, I said, no one will ever be able to, and I got a work ethic that'll rival the Amish. Let me tell you, I said, I know that about myself. I will never like half-ass it. I'm incapable of half-assing anything I do. That's what I hate the most, is if I witness somebody who half-asses something. So that's the thankfulness that I always have every day. And then I go in and I'm chipper and I just have a good time with it. And today was like one of the best days I had, like going out there and doing my route. I saw so many people. Go ahead.
We're gonna slow you down. We got 3 minutes.
All right.
Go on till tomorrow. But I got a cute question. I got 3 minutes. Put you on the spot. I know your lovely wife is around. Did you ever sleep with one of your customers?
No.
Never.
Have I had the opportunity? I will
Has,
tell the truth. Yes.
has one of
Now,
your customers ever come on to you?
yes.
Yeah, is that a common thing for the mailman?
I've had people that are like, whoa, and I've had 83-year-old women come on to me.
Really?
Oh my God.
I mean,
I got two rules in this world. I got two rules. Never dip your pen in company ink, and don't forget you're going to see them every day after work if it doesn't work out.
Good point, buddy. Good point.
During work.
As,
oh, you.
yep.
So is it true that sometimes you go to deliver something to the door, they'll come out to the door in half clothing? You ever had that happen?
Yes.
No, that I can't say I have, but no, yeah, no.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Yeah,
fine.
I know. Okay, one more question for you, yeah. I know you live in a rough area. Have you ever encountered?
Yeah, deliver.
I mean, you deliver in a rough area. You ever had situation where somebody tried to stick you up?
Yeah, I've had a few.
Did you give it to him?
No, no. When I don't have a violent bone in my body, but
I know.
no,
I'm saying, did you give them the fucking mail?
fucking paper cut their asses? Nah, but yeah,
the mail, bro. Did anybody try to rob you for your mail?
Sticking for
no.
your cream
But
in
I've
your
had,
rich.
I've had crackheads get pissed off that I'm like too close to them or I don't give them money. But no, I've said it before. Like once I tell them, like, all right, we can do this, whatever you want to do. Whoever's gonna win, I'm gonna go back to work. You're gonna go to jail with the felony for fucking with the federal employee. So let's go. And usually they give me one of these and
Yeah,
go on their way.
Russ is in a different world than I am, man. I don't have to look over my shoulder for there's been incidents in my town that are minute at best. There's nothing going
We're not
on.
gonna go past the first question. We ain't
Okay.
going past the first question. The first question.
No,
Well,
never.
I know your wife is
yes,
around.
yes,
She listens.
yes. I've been pursued. Yes, I've been pursued. No, I never took the bait.
Okay, really? That's a common thing.
Yep.
I know my son told me about that, and I was like, nah.
When you're that fresh faced guy in the affluent suburbs, and you're walking the streets on your walking route that didn't even involve a truck back in the day, you're fresh meat. You're fresh meat. Yeah, it was a whole lot. I was as pretty as I was 18 years ago. So
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah,
Forget
please.
about it.
Forget about it.
Oh man. And my last question, I guess, to you, Chooch, is did anybody ever try to stick you up for your mail?
No, I've never. I've only had to have. I had one incident where I was out in the dark and I felt like someone was creeping on me at one point. But I turned around and I just saw that it was residents that were just hovering around, and I kind of looked and I said, "What's going on? Everybody good?" And he said, "Yeah, you good?" And I said, "Yeah." And I just like, but other than that, no, never had to worry about anything where I work. It's one of the most affluent suburban towns in the whole area. It's on the top. Maybe at some point it was on the top 10 places you could live in the United States. Yeah,
Damn.
and I would say it's in the top 20. Yeah.
You got a boring life too. So you suck. All right, my last question. Here it goes. I'm just talking shit right now. Yeah. If there's anything that you could tell your old self 15 years ago, if you had a chance to meet your old self 15 years ago, what would it be?
It's gonna be okay. Just hang in there. Quit stressing out so much.
I like that. That was short.
Panic attacks. Avoid the night sweats. Avoid the money issues. Just relax. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through it.
Okay. How about you, Chooch?
Okay,
15 years ago.
15 years ago, stress was definitely a big, the main contributor of my being. I let so much stress take over me in my late 20s, and then when I got the gig at 26. Obviously I was wondering what was to become of this in the very beginning. I didn't know if I was going to stick with it. I thought of saying maybe there's more for me out there, and then I said to myself, you know what, this is going to be good enough. But the stress that was just, I come from a crazy group of Italians. Italians stress about did the tomato sauce come out thick enough? All right. So it's genetically predisposed in me to have some level of stress about absolutely nothing. What other people look at is say, what are you worrying about that for? That's the dumbest fucking thing. But finally, after having these beautiful kids and after having this wife that just came from nothing but positive, and I'm just like, why are you so fucking positive all the time? What is it? How did you get this way? And she's like, well, I'm going to teach you how to not be so like stressed all the time. And
But
amazingly,
that's not the
yeah.
question, man. The question is, what would you tell yourself 15 years ago? If you could walk up to yourself 15 years ago, what would you tell you about? You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, no, I hear you. All right, Chooch, stop. If you would know like how easy this thing was going to feel now, why the fuck did you put yourself through all that mess? Because now every day is smooth as silk for me. I'm so much better than I've ever been at this point now because I got control of what we're talking about here, the U.S. Postal Service. They don't control me now. I control my own destiny at the post office, and no one can trample on me now.
And I appreciate that answer because young people watch you guys. Young people will be listening on this. What is this thing called? A podcast y'all came up with. And they honestly need to hear something.
Yeah.
They need to know it's going to be different 5 years from now. It's going to be different than 10 years from now. And two career people, different levels of career people, saying almost the same thing should give somebody else hope. Because where they're at right now, would you like to be where they're starting at right now? The shit that they got to go through, the CCAs in their first year, the fuckery and foolery that they're dealing with. In 15 years, they'll be better. Yes. But they don't know that. You just told them that. You're giving them hope. And that's why I said, what would you tell yourself 15 years ago? And I appreciate the honest answers because we all wish we had somebody to come and tap us on the shoulder and say, hey, man, I'm from 2030, dog. And, shit gonna be all right, cuz. Yep. Like, really? Bro, just keep doing your thing. We don't have that option in life. But you got a podcast. You guys are who they're gonna be eventually.
Where the fuck were all the podcasts at 15 years ago? There was and now we got them everywhere. We got all this great stuff. We got all this like wonderful way to communicate. Mail carriers were just out there on the street by themselves, and you maybe had a few customers to talk to all day. Now you got the tech out there with you. The tech that the post office puts out there, where if we could smash that against the wall, we would, because we're just like track like robots every day. But fine, I say go ahead, track me all you want. If you want productivity to pick up, and you believe that people for years were getting away with murder by not tracking them, then so be it. That's fine. But the tech that we can communicate with, that allowed me to meet you, that allowed me to meet Yaya, that allowed me to meet Derek. I mean, there he is. It's fantastic. And like, and these guys coming up now to say like, we're here to say that we want to make that difference for you, to say that Jay is so good at drawing out that answer out of us, to say that we were like really having a hard time coming up with it. And then he said, that's not what I asked you, dumbass. I asked you to say what I asked you. And we actually answered it properly. And that's what we want you guys to see, that in the end, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You gotta eat shit for a little while, but in the end, you're going to be okay. I promise you.
And that's what they need to hear. And I'm not picking at you guys, but it's a psychology type thing behind it, because the younger generation listen, and they're attracted to different types of people. They're attracted to different types of voices. They're attracted to different type of environments. And all of us come from different environments. And the one thing that they need to know, the struggle is hard, just like Yaya said, but it's going to be all right. The struggle is going to be always there. but it's not going to be as hard as it is 15 years from now. Gentlemen, love y'all. This was a good chop up.
Fantastic.
For anybody that's listening, make sure y'all check out Yaya's channel. Make sure you check out Derek's channel. Make sure you check out Mr. Chooch's channel. And if you're hearing me say it, probably you're on my channel already. But
check out JH, everything USPS with JH, the greatest.
Like yeah, just had to make some shit up. Yeah. But
everybody knows it. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, somebody knows.
Don't forget Mailman Nick, Mailman
right.
Derek.
Yeah. A lot of mailmen.
Yeah.
A lot of mailmen. I'm trying to get some people from these other crafts in. They always come in and then they disappear. They start off good and then they disappear.
The carriers are the ones that persevere somehow. Why are the carriers the ones? Because we're the fucking greatest. That's why.
You know what? Before we end this, our next episode is going to be really scary for you. You know why? Because yes, the carriers do run this. 83% of all of upper management were former carriers. Thank you. That's the people y'all like.
Yep, I know. It's amazing. Once you give up your blues, boy, once you give up your blues,
go downhill from there. Shit.
Yep.
But we're gonna discuss that. I had a discussion today with somebody and she got pissed. She's like, I was like, no, you can't change the facts.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Look forward to that one.
Jay is out.
Peace, fellas. Love you guys.
Much love, fellas.